Chilling out in Philadelphia with Starkey.
Yes, in the woods.
And I appreciate you taking time out for us, man. I'm sure your schedule's hectic. Like, how often are you actually home?
I'm home a lot more than probably people think, but like I'm always working on stuff, so it's difficult for me to like, I don't know, just do normal things. Like I don't really go out much when I'm home. I'm always working on records, so it's just like, you know, my schedule's pretty packed.
Anticipation for your upcoming album is incredible. Do you want to talk about the process you went through to record this, and what are your expectations once it's released?
Yeah, you know, I just hope people like it when it comes out. I mean, the first Space Trader got a pretty good response, considering that like a lot of the tracks were just kind of like, except for the track with Annika, they were just kind of like, it's like a beat tape almost, like, with except minus the remixes. But this one is a little bit more song structure. It's a little bit more epic. It's a little bit more like Eardrums and Black Holes. So yeah, I mean, it's cool. I added an extra tune of mine on there, an original song, so there's a little bit more original content. The remixers all smashed it again. I just hope people like it. I'm really excited about the video dropping on this one as well. The video that we did for Lost in Space was directed by this guy named Broken Antler.
And how'd that come about?
Yeah, you know what, we kind of, the civil music guys just kind of did like a broad search through like some of these like online video director search things. Like, I don't know, it's like some new thing that like almost like social networking for video directors and stuff like that. So we just kind of did that, and it was interesting. Like we got a bunch of pitches in from people, and this guy just like nailed it. You know, we're like, wow, this sounds great. We shot it on green screen in London and edited it, or he edited it.
And you were out there for that?
Yeah, Charlie XCX and I were, you know, just at the studio.
Now, as popular as dubstep is getting, do you feel that there's a roof to the industry? Like, do you feel that at some point it's gonna, you know, cut off and start sliding off?
No, not really. I mean, it might change names. It might, you know, because dubstep kind of came from garage and came from, you know, grime was happening, and the names change. But musically, I mean, even a lot of the dubstep stuff that's going on right now has like a throwback to hardcore kind of vibe. Like some of the stuff that like Scream and Magnetic Man and all those guys are doing that are kind of getting like lumped into that dubstep genre name. It sounds like old hardcore records, you know what I mean? So it's like, the name's just gonna constantly change and evolve.
And do you think your style's going to change and evolve with the industry, or?
Yeah, I mean, I do a little bit. I mean, I think like if you listen to like my first record or my second record, and then listen to what I make now, it still sounds like the same person. It's not like I just flipped and decided to make other records. But I do dabble in a little bit more experimental stuff, and then a little bit more, I guess, mainstream hip hop, R&B kind of flavors. So it's always going to be, I'm always going to be left of center though. That's just who I am. I'm always going to be left of center. I mean, I'm doing some stuff with like some mainstream, you know, pop artists, for lack of better words, but it still sounds like Starkey. You know what I mean? It's going to sound like me. It doesn't. That's just what I do. You know, I don't do kind of the straight tracks.
Gas crank, gas crank, gas crank, gas crank. Turn it up, systems crank, stutters up, candy paint. Gas crank, gas crank, gas crank, gas crank. Turn it up, systems crank, stutters up, candy paint. Gas crank, gas crank, gas crank, gas crank.
There was a small pocket of people, and we kind of just stuck to our guns, and we're like, yeah, let's just play this music, let's do it, and see how people react. And we obviously flavored in things like, you know, hip hop, and he would play a little bit of jungle, some dance hall. We would like, you know, flavor it up so people could like be, you know, kind of get involved a little bit more. But at the same time, it was primarily, we were playing grime records, and like, it started to morph into more dubstep, and that's when we came up with this whole idea of street bass as like a concept for music, or what our like idea of what music is, or club music is. And you know, we just kind of did our thing. You know, there were nights that we played for like 25 people. There are nights that I've played, you know, we played for like 1,000 people. I've played festivals, you know what I mean? There's like thousands of people. Now how many of them actually know who you are or whatever is one thing, but you know, you go on stage and you kill it, and hopefully they're like, wow, who was this guy? You know, if they don't know, if they're not familiar with your music. So that's what I just say. I mean, just kind of do something that really like, you know, feels good for you. You have to fulfill your own, like, I don't know, your own need to make music, first and foremost.
I'm on the ass, smash that what's official? Slide a slap on the slab, fly like beat bitches, so what's your issue? 18 guns to get you, purple.
Now, I've been following you for years, and you being on Mr. Jam's One Extra, it took me by surprise. How did that come together? How did you put that together?
I think I first heard about it back in January or February. I can't remember when it started. I think it was like March it started, but it was January or February. I kind of heard that this was possibly going to happen through my manager, and he was like, you know, they're starting this thing. They think they want you to be involved, and I'm like, yeah, of course, cool. I mean, he's been a big supporter of my music, and I just think it's cool that, you know, finally One Extra has a dubstep specific show, and they're letting us do whatever we want with our shows. I mean, like, they asked me to do it, they asked Mensa, True Tiger, all these guys with different styles and different takes, and even though we kind of cross over sometimes, I mean, my style of DJing is very unique to theirs in that I play a lot of mainstream hip-hop music as well, and grime, and I think for me that's like sets me apart from some of the other DJs, and they do their own things as well, but yeah, I think that with the show, it's just an awesome way for me to be able to expose myself to a whole greater audience, a bigger audience.
Sure.
I prefer, you know, being in the studio, but it doesn't mean that I don't like playing shows. I don't like the touring aspect of playing shows. I like, if I could telewarp, like time warp, like, or teleport, I should say, like from like one place to another, I'd be like, well, you know, much more into playing shows. I just don't like sitting on planes. It's like, I mean, not that I'm like scared or nervous of it, because I do it so much. I just don't like doing it.
Right. Is it that it's time consuming, or?
I feel uncomfortable. I get sick a lot on planes. Like, you know, you get the sniffles when you get off the plane. You're just like, what the heck, you know? You're always just so, you know, you always have stuff to deal with. I don't like flying that much. But I like playing shows, like the actual shows, and meeting new people, and like being in different cities and different countries. That for me is awesome. But I just don't like the actual like flying part. Right. I know some people that do. They're like, yeah, I love it. I get to turn off my cell phone and just like watch a movie. I'm like, I can do that anytime I want to, if I really want to. I don't really need to go on a plane to do it.
Right. When you talk about, you know, consistently working with your friends, you know, you've stuck with pretty much, you know, a lot of the same guys that you were working with in the beginning. Do you think that this has anything to do with your success, or is it just something that you prefer to do? You're more comfortable to work with these guys?
I mean, I just have a pretty good group of friends that are also involved in the music industry in some way, DJs, producers, and you know, we all try to support each other. I mean, I think we can build like a family or like a brand around whatever Seclusiasis or Slit Jockey Records is, and everyone's repping that crew or that thing. It's better for everyone in the long run. We can help each other out by you know, if one of us signs a big record, get other people involved in remixes and all that kind of stuff. And you know, well, I like supporting these guys because I like the music that they make, and they all have good personalities. I mean, so many times, and good hearts. You know, so many times in like music and an entertainment business, you run across people that are just like really arrogant or really are just tough to deal with business-wise, or maybe sneaky in the way that they deal with things. And I feel like the people that I'm involved with for the most part are all really, really great people, you know? And like, yeah, they're also really great people. I mean, if you send them a tune and say, please don't play this on the radio until, you know, this day, but you can play it in clubs and mixes, and they're gonna do it. They're not, you know what I mean? They're not gonna be people that are like leaking the song out to, you know, 100 different people. And that's just how I kind of feel. That's how I treat people's music, with respect and I don't know. I feel like we have a good group of people.
songs have been featured heavily on the UK version of Skins. How does it feel to see?
The US version of Skins,
it's the
actually,
US version.
yeah. Not the UK version.
How does it feel to see your songs displayed in that kind of format?
Oh, it was a little weird at first. I mean, like, the first one that they signed was they synced was Fourth Dimension, and it was used in like a teenage drug scene, like a kid like tripping out on pills and stuff like that. So that was a little weird at first, you know what I mean? Because you're like, all right, well, some kids, you know, who maybe are influenced by these shows might see this and think that. But at the same time, you never know. It's just a way for people to hear the music. I mean, if some people heard the song, were like, "Wow, this is a really cool song." What am I, you know? And they got exposed to it and bought it or downloaded it or what, you know, whatever. That's cool. Stars also got synced, and that was for like a slightly different scene, obviously, because it's a different kind of song. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. I'm up for those kinds of things, you know. Yeah, it's not. I didn't make the song for the show. Sure. You know, I made the song and then they wanted to use it, so that's always good.
Sure. Yeah. Where do you see yourself in this industry in 5 years, anytime down the road?
Hopefully, just want to. I mean, I'll still be Starkey and I'll probably still play shows, but I really want to be producing for bigger artists like MCs, singers, R&B, hip hop, whatever, you know. Amalgamation of those genres exists. I really want to be doing more of that, and I'm starting to do more of that. Just a slow process of working with some of the majors and things like that, and big publishers.
What artists do you want to work with that you haven't had the opportunity to work with yet?
Yeah, I mean, I think I always say like the same people, but I really want to do a record with T-Pain because I love T-Pain. I know that'd be like dream collab because I think he's awesome. I think he's one of the most talented and in some ways underrated because of his like, you know, use of autotune, but sure. Underrated actual writers. I mean, his harmonies are awesome. His beats for the most part are usually spot on. I think he's a really talented writer. That would be a dream collab. Though, you know, I'm really not sure. There's a lot of people who I'd be up for working on records with. I mean, rappers right now that I've been listening to, or like, you know, MCs I've been listening to. I listen to a lot of mainstream stuff. Like I listen to Young Berg and like, sure. I listen to a lot of like, I'm a big fan of Lex Luger's production. Sure. Although he like, you know,
Rick Ross and
yeah, I love Rick Ross. I mean, like a lot of people hate on him, but he's one of my favorite rappers. Like I just like his style. Right. Like I like the voice. I like the style. I like how he presents himself as an MC. And I like that. So I mean, yeah, I would love to do a record with Rick Ross. I'd love to. It'd be huge. I mean, I'd be huge. I'd be, you know, flattered. I also really like the new Dirty Money records. Like all the remixes and stuff that they've done are really musical. Like if people actually get past like, oh, it's Puff Daddy. Right. You know, a lot of people have like, you know, a negative feeling about him. But if you actually listen to the project, it's actually there's some really good stuff. Even that new remix like release they did, it's got some really cool remixes and cool producers doing remixes, and now it's starting to rain on us, so I don't know, maybe it's time that we
wrap it up. What's going on? It's DJ Nappy hanging out with Starkey, signing out for Generation Bass.
Yeah, Starkey, Mayor of Starkville, 2011, Space Trader 2.
Yeah. Hallucinogenic, got spit psychedelic rap. I've got the venom to send it to hell back. On incredible technical love for numerical fashion collectively. On the venom, the wrath, the method is effortless. How could you heckle us back? You thinking you're flashing it and you got tasks and